As many of you probably know, I am a huge Simpsons fan, and I can make a pretty much Simpsons reference out of almost anything in any situation. And one of the things that I've kind of made a Simpsons reference out of, and some of you might know this particular episode, is when they get a pool. And it's funny because you see Bart and Lisa ask Homer, "Can we have a pool, Dad? Can we have a pool, Dad? Can we have a pool, Dad?" They just kind of on and on and on and on and on. And, to the point where he finally says yes. Now, the funny part is, this is exactly the way that I see people kind of talking up the storage situation with the PlayStation 5. Like, when are they going to get that solid state storage expansion? When are we getting that expansion? Hey, Sony, when are we getting the expansion? Sony, the expansion is coming when? Sony, expansion, expansion, Sony, expansion, expansion, expansion. This is all we hear about, and, I got to be honest, it's kind of funny because a lot of the people that are asking, I would say maybe 90%, are Xbox fanboys who just like to puff their feathers over the fact that there is an expansion slot in their much slower solid state drive expansion on Xbox consoles. Now, for whatever reason, it's taken a while longer to get these done on the PlayStation side of things. One of the reasons probably due to the fact that it's such a fast, state-of-the-art thing. And they were having trouble getting third parties. They wanted third parties to be able to do this, to keep costs down somewhat. And I can imagine that these things are probably still going to be, $200, etc. But, we'll have to see how that kind of works out in the long run. But yeah, it is very strange, and it's very kind of a unique situation that we're kind of faced in right now. And for me personally, I find it to be a very unique talking point because Sony has done a good job of kind of keeping the updates flowing for the PlayStation 5, and that's one thing that I can say for them. On the other side, you have Microsoft, and they're not really, I don't know if they've dropped as many updates. It could be because their stuff is constantly in beta anyway. But for me personally, I do find it to be incredibly interesting to see that Sony very much continues to update and put things out there that that Microsoft anyway doesn't seem to be out there doing. So this is good. These things continue to evolve, and you love it. It's really good. So let's get started, shall we? Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Crap Gaming, back with another video. Why don't you faces do me a favor and slap that like button? You slap it, you bunch of crap babies. Let's slap that like button. Slap it hard. We always slap the like buttons around here because I am the best. I'm the best one. And just because I talk with a southern twang doesn't mean that I'm any less best than you. So slap the like button. Shout out to my boy Crapgamer. Let's go. Now, I appreciate that. I like to have fun with this stuff. I'm having more fun than I've had ever on this channel, and regardless, because there's no pressure, I actually have to do no pressure, no nothing. But anyway, Microsoft has long had programs that let players beta test their features and things like that come into Xbox consoles, particularly because that thing's always in beta. But typically Sony has taken more of a surprise, here's an update approach. Well, that seems to be changing a little bit as Sony has announced a new PlayStation 5 system software beta program for the console's next big update, which will arrive sometime later this year. Sony's not revealed what this update will include, although they promise more details in the coming weeks. And here's a little bit more update about the new PlayStation 5 beta program as well. This is what they had to say. Later this year, we're rolling out another major system update packed with new features, and we want your help testing them out. Starting today, you can register for an opportunity to join the first ever PlayStation 5 system software beta program. Registration is open to all players over the age of 18 in the US, Canada, Japan, UK, Germany, and France. By signing up, you could be among the first to put new features to the test and provide essential feedback that will help guide their development. If you're selected to be part of the program, you'll receive an email with instructions on how to download the beta version of the next system software update. In order to sign up, you'll need a PlayStation 5 console with an internet connection and a PlayStation Network account. You will also be added to the potential participant pool for the future PlayStation 5 system software betas automatically without having to register. Again, now after the beta begins, you can restore your system software to the latest official version before the beta program ends. You can also register to be a beta software person. I'm going to link this and you can check it out. And they also mentioned that they're going to be bringing, the next big update later this year, which we can only assume is going to be the big one with the updated features and things like that coming to the PlayStation 5, including the expansion and things like that. So again, it's just one of the things, and one of the things that I've noticed, just on like being on the internet and Twitter and social media and that kind of thing. I've kind of noticed it's multiple things, and I guess it really kind of depends on how you feel about these multiple things. But it's basically people keeping receipts on other people, but it's pointless because nobody ever admits to any faults or wrongdoings in the first place. So you can have a million receipts on somebody like I do and others do on Cold Eastwoods and the Dealer Gamings and all these people who say this ridiculous crap. And I've said ridiculous crap, but I tend to go out there and admit that when I was wrong on something. And all these people have these receipts that are pulled up on them, and it makes them look silly, but they just keep on going anyway. And worst of all, you have people that defend them. So there's that, and then you have the situation where people will attack something if it's not on their particular brand that they like or whatever, and then defend something once it is. And what I mean by that is everybody, you had Xbox fans, right? Literally for the last 2 years claiming that exclusives don't matter and they're not important and it's gatekeeping and it's this and that and the other thing. And now they're like, Starfield's only on Xbox platforms. Nanny boo boo. And I just thought that was kind of funny. It's like, well, which is it? Are exclusives important and you want them? Or are they gatekeeping and not good for the industry, right? Like, this is the funny part that I like, because I've always stuck by, of course, they're good for the industry. It drives competition. We need that competition. And this is exactly what I've been talking about this whole time. And that's why this is like the internet has taken on this whole other kind of world for me, where you just kind of sit back and you laugh. And I always go back to Idiocracy. Please, if you don't know what Idiocracy is, it's a great movie, far ahead of its time. Go back and watch it. The courtroom scene in particular, I always equate myself to the courtroom scene, because the guy's explaining to everybody very eloquently what's going on, and they respond with a slur and calling them names and things like that. So yeah, that's how things usually go, no matter how eloquently I explain things. Okay, so I'll go one step further. Spider-Man Miles Morales, a $50 game. That game took me, I think, 13, 14 hours to finish. On average, I think it took people 10 to 12 hours. It was a $49.99 game, right? A $50 game. Okay, everybody called it DLC, Xbox side. DLC, glorified DLC. Now, let's jump to Halo Infinite. The multiplayer is free, so that's not even part of the package. But the campaign, which is said to be about 8 hours on the hardest difficulty, $60. And I don't hear anybody chirping one bit about this. That's the type of thing that kind of grinds my gears a bit, right? Like, you sit there and you look at it and you go, isn't that a little bit crazy? You have this situation where if that were on PlayStation, people are already bitching about $70 games. Here you have a $60 8-hour campaign and nobody's saying anything, right? Like, why are they charging full price for a game that usually comes with multiplayer and a campaign, and it's just coming with a campaign? Because the multiplayer anybody can play. You don't need it. So yeah, I find that to be a little bit interesting. And I also found it to be very interesting the way that people kind of look up to some of these situations. Like I said, the exclusive situation, that is one of these things that, of course, they want exclusives. And I've said this all along. If you were to ask any Xbox console owner, would you want a big AAA exclusive built from the ground up just for your console, not on PC, not on anything else, 100% of them would say yes. They would say yes, because we all want that. We all want something special, something built for these platforms specifically, and the fact that we don't get that on Xbox is a bit of a slap in the face sometimes. So yeah, very interesting to say the least. And I also have to say that it's somewhat frustrating to see the way that this kind of comes about, and the way that fans kind of react to these things in general. But I would absolutely love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this, because I think it's super important You know, and I think that it's also important to kind of look at this and go, well, how can we fix this? How can we fix that? How can we be better ourselves? I think it's important as fans just to kind of enjoy the games and have fun with it, you know, like, and I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out. Slap the like button. I appreciate each and every one of you. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.